Was good, y'all. One of the things I love most about the NBA right now is there is so much parity going on throughout the whole league, both conferences. The standings are always so close, so on a game-to-game basis, everything seems super important. But with all this parity, when you look over out west, there is one team that seems to kind of be separating themselves from the rest of the pack, and that is of course the number 1 seeded OKC Thunder. At the time of recording this video, they are a whopping 29-5 and on a 14-game winning streak, including last night where they just snapped my New York Knicks 9-game winning streak. They are absolutely rolling right now. They have a top 10 offense, the number 1 defense, and are number 1 in net rating out of every team in the NBA, and they are looking like the best team in the NBA. You can't really talk about the OKC Thunder without bringing up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the guy they run their offense through. He's their number 1 guy, an MVP candidate. A lot of people have him as the winner as of right now, but he is definitely handedly in that top 3 conversation. And just like the last few seasons, when you look by the numbers, Shai is putting up monster stats, averaging 31 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 52% from the field as a guard. And I think what makes Shai so special as a scorer is his combination of his tight handle, the length that he has, and then also his change of pace. When you add those 3 together, I mean, it's damn near impossible to stop him from getting to the rim. Once he gets inside that 3-point line, it's pretty much a guaranteed bucket for Shai. He's shooting a career high 76% at the rim, and then also a career high 58% in the mid-range, like ungodly numbers. And I will say he is trying to expand his game. He increased his 3-point volume a whole lot this year. The percentage is about the same, which when you account for the increased volume, it's definitely progress. He's not a knockdown shooter by any means, but he will definitely hit them. And then real quick, before I move on from Shai, I do want to address the foul baiting or foul merchant, free throw merchant, whatever you want to call it, conversation around his name. It's really unfounded. Yeah, Shai gets to the free throw line, but when you look at his free throw attempts, they are the least amount he's had in his career since he started averaging 30 points per game. When you're a high volume scorer, especially one that attacks the basket a lot, you're going to get fouled. That's just the game of basketball, you know, and I don't get why people make it such a big deal and a bad thing when you can make it to the free throw line, because it's easy, guaranteed points for your team. I really have no issue with it. I don't see Shai as a foul baiter or anything like that. He gets fouled. That's basically what it is. And although a majority of the scoring production comes from Shai, he's not alone out there on the court. His running mate, J-Dub, is seeming like one of the perfect guys to pair alongside a guy like Shai. He's great on the ball or off the ball, which I think is what makes him so special, because when he's off ball and Shai has the ball in his hands, you know, he's not a fantastic shooter. He's definitely taken a step back from his great year last year, but he's still able to knock it down, or he's able to drive those closeouts, cut into open space because Shai demands so much attention from the defense. He's really good at seamlessly working himself into the offense, and then also when he has the ball in his hands, he's able to create for himself. Very similar to Shai, he loves to get to the rim, he loves to get to his mid-range shot, and I can go on and on about J-Dub. I love what he does for this team. He's a very willing passer. He's second on the team in assists per game. In transition, he is an absolute monster. He'll crash the boards for you also. Again, like I said, I think he's the perfect running mate next to Shai. But this year for the Thunder, they seem to add an extra layer to their offense, and that is playing through newly acquired Isaiah Hartenstein. He has been even better than what I was expecting for the Thunder, and I am a Knicks fan, so I saw him all last season do the great things he did. Here in OKC, though, he's brought it to a whole nother level. Since he started playing in the 19 games, OKC is 18-1. Just think about that. 18-1. And I think a big reason for Hartenstein's uptick in production is the fact that OKC is really empowering him offensively. We see him a lot in the pick and roll with Shai or J-Dub, where he's either just setting the screen to free them up, or they use him as a weapon on the roll, whether it's the short roll. He's got his little like flip shot, whatever you want to call it, that he shoots like damn near 80% on, I want to say. It seems like it at least. Or he can drive all the way to the basket and finish through people with his powerful body. Also, passing on the short roll, he's incredibly good at. The dribble handoffs, top of the key, they love to run that with Isaiah Joe, you know, just to free up their shooters like that. And then also, we've even seen Hartenstein attack off the dribble, which, again, as a Knicks fan, I really haven't seen much of that, but he's doing a great job at it. But most importantly, where I think Hartenstein's really shining on the Thunder's offensively is his offensive rebound. He legitimately is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, and we're seeing that with his production this season so far. One of the reasons why OKC is winning so much this season is the fact that majority of the time they demolish their opponent in the possession battle. They just shoot more shots, whether that's not turning the ball over, which they don't, forcing the other team to turn the ball over, which they do, or these offensive rebounds by Isaiah Hartenstein and others. It's just simple math at that point. If you shoot more shots than your opponent, you're more likely to score more points. It makes sense if you think about it. And those three guys are the main catalyst of OKC's offense so far this season. But just when you look at the surrounding pieces around them, they have loads of depth. Every single guy on this team seems to be very smart, where they know where to be on the court. They know when to cut, when to make the next pass, when to run to open space. And I think all of those things are really key to having a free-flowing and fluid offense, which OKC definitely has. And surprisingly enough, this season, they've definitely taken a step back shooting-wise. Percentage, when you look at it as a team, they're really not shooting the three ball too well. But I wouldn't say it's too big of an issue for them right now, because they don't really have any non-threats. They just have a lot of slightly below average to average shooters. And obviously it is a spectrum. Towards the top of the spectrum, you have your guys like Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, AJ Mitchell. These guys are near 40% three-point shooters. And then towards the bottom, you have your guys like Alex Caruso or Cason Wallace, who are closer to like 30%. But a lot of the guys end up being in that like 35, 36% range. And that's pretty solid. And I just spent all this time talking about their offense, which is very good, you know, near elite, top 10, like I mentioned towards the top of the video. But that's not even their biggest strength. They're even better on the defensive end. OKC has the best defense in the NBA, and I think a big part of that is the fact that everyone on their team is bought into being a defensive, scrappy team, including their stars. When you look at a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's one of the best two-way players in the NBA right now. He's averaging 2 steals per game and over a block per game as well. Year in and year out for these last few seasons, he has been towards the top of the league in steals per game and towards the top of the league in blocks from the guard position. He just competes defensively, gets his hands on balls, pause. And then when you look at his co-star J-Dub, it's a lot of the same stuff. You know, he's got that big, stocky 6'5" body, the super long arms, and one of the best motors that I've seen in the NBA. It allows him to be so versatile defensively. There was a stretch where OKC didn't have a healthy center on their roster, and they ran J-Dub out there at the 5. Now, he was doing decent. Like, obviously, he's only 6'5", there's only so much you could do, but he was competing and making other centers work for it. It's not just the stars, though. They have just straight defensive-minded guys on the team that will just go out there and they want to play defense. The only thing that they want to do is clamp up whoever they're guarding. That's, of course, guys like Alex Caruso or Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, 3 of the top perimeter defenders in the NBA right now, all on one team. Like, it really blows my mind when I think about it. And this collective buy-in really is important to the scheme because they switch a lot in OKC. They rotate a lot. You know, they're very aggressive and force a lot of turnovers. So if you miss that turnover, you know, you're going for the passing lane, it gets it through. You guys have to all rotate now and cover for each other. And that's what they do. They're really connected. They play defense on a string almost. It's just a lot of chaos and pressure on the perimeter. And if you so happen to make it past your defender and get to the rim versus OKC, you have Isaiah Hartenstein just sitting there ready to protect the paint. I don't know, man. When I see a team that is this dominant on both sides of the floor, they have an MVP caliber player, and they have good depth. I mean, they're built for a championship run. And I'm sure you OKC fans have noticed by now, but maybe you didn't, but I went this entire video without mentioning Chet Holmgren's name, who only played 10 games so far and has yet to play alongside his front court mate of Isaiah Hartenstein. Once he comes back, I mean, he's going to do nothing but help OKC on both sides of the floor. They're adding a 7-footer, which, you know, the size is probably one of the biggest weaknesses for OKC. That'll definitely help out. An elite rim protector, one of the best in the NBA, if you ask me, my humble opinion. Also, a great three-point shooter who will definitely help out with their subpar shooting. And then also a guy that can create off the dribble for himself to take some of that pressure off of Shai or off of J-Dub. Like I said, he's going to do nothing but help on both sides of the floor when he comes back. What do you guys think, though? Do you think OKC is the best team in the NBA? If not, what teams do you think would beat them in a 7-game series? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.